Guys, I don't know what happened there. We had a little technical issue, but we are here. Welcome to another episode, a very special, the Tracy Show, the Sunday edition. Seems like I've been doing a lot more of these lately, but it's election season, so that's what
Mhm.
we have. So, um, before I get started, I want to thank everybody that watched yesterday's forum. It was the most, and you can still go back and watch it if you weren't able to catch it live. I so appreciate Dr. David King that came, Theus Robinson that came, and Senator senatorial candidate Michael Dublin was also a guest. It was really probably one of the best forms I've ever done. Um, I don't like to pat myself on the back because it seems like I'm bragging, but I'm gonna pat myself on the back because that was just such an open discussion. I've learned so very much. Um, and I just want to thank everybody for watching yesterday. And of course, right there, you can watch um, that's the whole link. You can go there and watch it. And before we get started, we're going to get some bills paid. Hit that subscribe button, hit it, smash it, obliterate it, destroy it, blow it up. Let's get to 500 subscribers. We are at 431. So that means we have 69 to go before we hit 500. I hope my math is mathy. Um, to go. Subscribing is literally free, doesn't cost you anything. You can also support me on Patreon. Patreon support allows me to um, do everything that I'm doing. I'm already at my limit for the free StreamYard, so I'm hoping I don't have to pay anything out of pocket. But they only give you 5 free hours a month, and I'm already up at 2.5. So yeah, that Patreon support is very much appreciated. It only starts at $2 per month. That's less than a dime a day. You can also support me at my GoFundMe um, site where I'm doing a personal project. As I had stated before, at the beginning of the year, I have some personal expenses that I have to meet. Your contribution and your those that have contributed in the past, thank you. Um, Contribute to the First Baptist Church North Drama Academy. That is an academy that I've started along with the church that I attend. We are teaching inner city youth dramatic expression. We will have a mini musical. And so we are trying to raise $10,000 because musicals are not free. They definitely are not. So we're trying to raise $10,000 and your contribution is appreciated. I'm going to get to the candidate's website here in just a moment. And you, ma'am, may introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Tracy, for having me on your show. My name is Shehla Faizi, and I am the Green Party candidate for Texas State Comptroller. I have, you know, been going up and down trying to educate people on the importance of the comptroller race because most people don't even realize what the office is about, but it's about our tax dollars and how our tax dollars are being used in Texas, or more specifically, not being used, especially when it comes to caring for and taking care of the people of Texas.
And it's comptroller, not controller.
No, well, it can be both. It depends on where you are in the U.S. You can say controller or comptroller. Either works.
Okay, because I was like, control. No, because you had that M, and I'm like, is that
Either is correct. It is
okay,
absolutely correct.
good. Thank you. Okay, so this little piece of hair is going to get on my nerves. Okay, so because I don't know what the controller does, could you explain very briefly what the office does?
Okay. In Texas specifically, we don't have a separate treasurer. It used to be, but it became too much of a pain for our governor because we that there were two stops when it came to funding all the things that they wanted funded. So now the comptroller's office acts as our tax collector, distributor, and also as our treasurer. So basically, what it does is our taxes are collected and distributed at a state level. And they are basically then also used to fund certain programs especially when it comes to contracts, government contracts, when it comes to buying bonds, when it comes to handing out investment contracts, all sorts of things, plus funding all our public facilities, things like education, infrastructure, all the things. These are all the things that happen through the comptroller's office.
That's okay. I was going to say it sounds like a lot of things you're describing. I would think of as the treasurer doing, but you literally just said that. So I'm like, oh, now it makes more sense. So why did you specifically want to run for this office? And I'll tell you why I asked that. So when guests come on this show, and I've had this happen with Texas, I don't know why. I keep trying to make everybody run for United States Congress,
Mm.
and I don't know why I'm doing that. Well, I think on some level I know why I'm doing it, but I didn't make that mistake this time, everybody. So no messages about she's not running for Congress. You're not listening. I know she's not running for Congress, but why did you want to run for this particular office?
Because money talks, Tracy. You know that money talks. Um, the one of the biggest things that impacts our everyday lives is the money. I've been giving short talks when it comes to really educating about the fact of what's happening in our education system right here in Texas. We are the third highest when it comes to contributing to public education, $64 million. That's a whole lot of money. We're like third only to California and New York. And yet we rank 45th out of 50 when it comes to quality of education that our children are getting. There is something very specific that's happening to our tax dollars. It is not being used for us. It's being circumvented in ways that it's not reaching the taxpayers. So if you want to improve the lives of people, you have to create accountability, especially when it comes to collecting and distributing of tax dollars. Right now, we don't have any accountability in Texas. And let me tell you why that is important. I get this question a lot. Like, can you change the law? I was like, I wish I could. I literally wish I could, but comptroller is an executive branch of office. So we can't change the law, but we can show you very clearly where that money is going. And that's what's missing in Texas right now. Specifically, we have so much money. We are the second highest GDP in the country, second highest. And yet our people still are struggling with access to healthcare. You should see our roads and infrastructure. It's a mess. Literally, it's a huge mess. So where are all our tax dollars going? Yeah, the investments are coming in, but like, when you hear the term trickle down economics, it ain't working out for us. It literally is not.
Mm-mm.
So my job as a comptroller, what I want to do is that if our taxpayer dollars are being collected and distributed in whatever area that it is being distributed, people should have a clear trail of where it's going. Not that, you say that the money is going in for education or infrastructure, and then suddenly part of it disappears without a trace, and there's no real improvement in the lives of the everyday Texan.
So here, I'm going to ask this question, and this is going to be one of those, I don't mean any harm, because
No.
everything you just said, it makes sense to me. You know, when you're have a podcast that talks about politics, your mind tends to go political. And
Right.
I'm thinking about the average everyday, hey, my rent's due,
Right.
gas is too much. I'm not going to ask why they, yeah, I will. Why, why is it that they don't care? Or do they care? Well, do they care? And if they don't, why is that?
Well, here's the thing. They don't know the process. They don't know that a comptroller even exists. They should care, but it's a whole it's a part of the whole structure of, when something is really precious to you, you want to hide it. So up until this time, the comptroller's office is sort of this hidden corner that makes a lot of really, really important decisions. And it executes a lot of really important decisions, but people are not aware of this. And that's the other thing. That's what I want to speak and clarify about, is that you want to know where your tax dollars are going, you ask the comptroller's office. They're the ones that are taking your tax dollars, distributing it, and they're the ones who can provide you with the answers. Ask them.
And so here, I just lost my question. I'll get it back. But here's what I'm thinking, because I tend to overthink. Sometimes I underthink, and then sometimes I overthink. And I don't know where this next question falls. But I usually don't jump to the website this fast, your website. But I am going to go there now because I have a specific, I hate that word, question that I want to ask. And the reason I want to ask it is I'm just going to get it out of the way.
Sure.
And that's your heritage or
Yes.
your religion. Let's just get it on the table
Yes,
and tell
please.
us.
I'm waiting for
Um,
this, Tracy. Okay. This is gonna be
um,
coming up, and I love the fact that you're starting with this. Yes, go ahead.
it's one of those things that we live like it seems like people don't understand the separation of church and state, which is basic to they don't understand that. And I know with the amount of Islamophobia that is going on, and it's going on, please everybody mess me with it's not happening. Look, Semitism, anti-Semitism is definitely wrong. Do not get it twisted. Nobody ever excuses anti-Semitism, but to not address to not address Islamophobia, especially in your type of race. When I look at your candidates, I don't want to say that, oh, they're going to use this,
They are.
but I'm probably
They
sure
are.
they have.
They are. And most of what I receive is online. And again, Tracy, when you're as old as I am, you've been on the
No, don't
internet
let
for so
gray
long.
hair fool me. Don't let the gray hair fool you. I'm 27. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Not a day over 29, Tracy. Come on.
Yeah, right.
No,
Sure.
but we've
11
been on the
years ago.
internet for so long, okay? We've heard every slur in the book, unfortunately. And they're throwing out, all the things that I'm bringing in Sharia law, or that I am from a barbaric faith, and so on and so forth. At this point, it doesn't even bother me. I don't even think twice about it. It's just that I wish somebody would have the civic dialogue about this, because there is a whole bunch of scare tactics going on, like, oh, Muslims are coming, they're bringing Sharia law, but a lot of people really don't even understand, like, that is absolutely impossible. As a Muslim, I will tell you this straight up. It's impossible for me and every other Muslim candidate out there to do this because Sharia is 99% personal law. Like, it's me wearing the hijab, it's me praying 5 times, it's me fasting in the month of Ramadan. I can't even get my kids to pray half the time. I mean, that's the thing. I'd be telling them, please do, but I'm not, standing there and be like, you have to pray, otherwise XYZ. So this is a very personal, like a set of rules for every Muslim. I can't tell another Muslim to do certain things. I most definitely can't tell by even Muslim law to a non-Muslim to do XYZ. So this is a very widely misunderstood concept of Sharia that I will be using it to somehow Islamify an office. I can't.
And yes, I'm gonna say it, but yet you have people that call themselves Christian, the Christian nationalists, which I call KKK because they have no right wing Christian, but they should just drop that part and just call themselves KKK. They want to institute women not having reproductive choices,
Mm-hmm.
limiting resources. Tell me what's Christian about that. You shouldn't even get to wear the title. You shouldn't even. You should. Oh, I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna go. I feel myself going on a rant because this one it makes me so angry. I'm like, people, the people who commit violence are not Muslim. They're just not. They're not. It's white people. Guess what? There are more white people in this country than any race. Therefore, common sense would tell you that they're committing most of the. I'm just like, what? It's like you are dealing with it a lot better than me because I'm almost to the point I'm just ready to put up my dukes and just go because I'm just like, are you kidding me? You're saying you, and they don't know what Sharia law even is. They can't define it. They don't know it. Oh, they blew up 9/11. No, they didn't. That was Saudi Arabia. Oh, shut up, Tracy. Don't get into that.
Listen, I feel you, Tracy. And that rant is justified. Literally, what is going on in the US? And it's not even about anti-Islam rhetoric. All the racist, sexist demons are partying right now. You know this. All the things that are happening, and I'm in no position to even speak of the unimaginable horrors that the Black community is going through. I'm in no position. But that's the thing. What has happened is that these people in power have been creating demons in off the Black community, that they have been calling that such and such the people in the Black community are boogeyman XYZ. They've always created the boogeyman, and the Black community has been suffering from this the longest. And then now you have anti-immigrant boogeyman, you have anti-Islamic boogeyman. This is unfortunate. I mean, the thing is, again, now I'm going on a rant, but that's the thing. They always had the boogeyman because the boogeyman is how they exert control on the people who don't know better, and that's
Yeah,
where the
and
problem
they
is.
want to keep people
Mm-hmm.
undereducated because if you just don't know, you don't want to know,
Mm-hmm.
then what is it to them? But we're gonna get right back on track. We're gonna get right back on track. But I just had to say that because it just infuriates me. I'm like, no, you don't get to wear the title. You don't get to wear the title. You need to take that Christian part off and just call yourself what you actually are because it's insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Insulting that they do that. And
Amen.
this is America. Guess what? You can choose a religion. You can choose no religion.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally say, I don't believe anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh, let's get back to the controller's office because I'm just like, I literally could spend an hour on this. This is just one of those ones that, especially because I live in the Texas of the North, Indiana.
Mhm.
I call Indiana the Texas of the North because whatever you all do, we do it, but we take it to the next level of stupidity. We just say, okay, um, a story, and I'll get back to my question. But we have flooding going on in the city that I live in,
Oh,
Indianapolis.
wow.
Um, it hasn't hit my neighborhood. Most neighborhoods aren't affected, but there's some neighborhoods. And our lieutenant, so-called Christian nationalist, so-called pastor says, "Oh, don't help them."
Oh, wow.
And Indiana has a surplus. Let's. I'm almost. People have always tried to talk me into running for office. I almost just want to run just to get them out, just to be like, get my
Do
thing.
it, Tracy. Do it. I'm gonna be that. Like, do it. So
I'm just so
there's not enough angry people running for office.
I think that's my I want to contain my anger, right? Because I want to just how do how do public officials, and I'm getting back to your office now, when you have Texas probably has what 30, 40 million people in it.
At least minimum.
So you're gonna be managing the funds, because I'm putting this in Tracyology, managing the funds that has a state with $1 billion economy.
Right.
Um, that's important. Right?
Most
And you
definitely.
have to have a person that's trustworthy, that's honest. And now I'm getting to my question. I see that you put an article on your news site, on your website, and there's her website right there. Um, that talked about how much money is in this race. I would think, well, okay, the governor's race, it would make sense for money to go there because that's the governor. The governor
Right.
is the chief executive of the state of Texas. Okay. Senate race. Well, okay. Not that I like money influencing races, but I could understand the need for money to go into those races because they have a larger profile. Your position, in my opinion, it seems like it's more administrative. So why is this money coming into it? That's just very strange to me.
Because our money is being, again, our money is being misused by a lot of hands, Tracy. I will like give you a brief example. We have just introduced this year what is called the TIFA private school voucher system. What it is basically it's taking $1 billion in public tax money and giving it out in a lottery system so people can apply and they'll get a grant of up to $30,000, and it depends on certain categories of students. And you can go to a private school of your choice. So the huge scandal that sort of popped out of all of this is that the voucher system is basically something that was pushed by a billionaire in Pennsylvania through his buddy Greg Abbott, and the people who benefit most from this are these private school, I guess, oligarchs, if you had to put it. So what's happening is that you got $1 billion taxpayer money and you're distributing it to only a specific number of students. I think it was about 90,000 students. That's not much. When you have 5 million students, 90,000 is nothing basically in comparison to that. To 90,000 students, and then ultimately those taxpayer dollars goes into the private school system and it enriches the private school oligarchs. So you see how the money is going around. And what happened was that the voucher system, the distribution started early this year, and a lot of private Islamic schools and the parents who send their kids to private Islamic schools applied for it. And then everybody higher up was like, whoa, 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 whoa. We don't want to give money to Islamic schools and Muslim students. We're going to have to again create a boogeyman right now. So what did Greg Abbott do? He suddenly declared that, the CARE organization, which is basically an organization that helps Muslims with any social political problems that they may have, immigration concerns, and getting our social concerns met through lawyers and so on and so forth. And it's been operating in the US since, oh, I think it's since 1992. Don't quote me on that, but when I was reading, they've been there since the 90s, and they helped Muslims out in, especially anti-Muslim hate, all of these things. So suddenly, Greg Abbott declares that the CARE organization is a terrorist organization and has foreign fundings. All of these allegations, and since Islamic schools are, and again, these are all lies. Our Islamic schools are associated with CARE, so we can't give money to CARE. So it was a whole thing to stop funding to Islamic schools. And then there was a lawsuit, and finally they couldn't, like legally, they couldn't stop the funding to Islamic schools. But the point is not that whether the funding, the voucher funding, goes to Islamic schools or Christian schools. Point is that you can see that our tax dollars are being used to enrich private
Right,
entities.
schools. I'm like, well, why doesn't it just go to the public schools? They are right there.
Mhm.
They can. I'm pretty sure public schools could use that money.
A lot of it, we have a lot of money, but again, there is the money going to what is needed is disappearing. It is not going into what is needed. Our teachers in Houston ISD, 4,000 teachers resigned beginning of the school year because there is cutting of funding, there is takeovers through the Texas Education Association, and the ISDs are now no longer independent of the government. So there are so many problems. The bureaucracy is what's killing us. They are trying to tighten all the reins to and Houston ISD and Houston in general. Harris County is one of has always been traditionally been Democrat. They have always, Houston is, especially in particular, has always been an open system. They've never been a conservative system, and they hate that. So when you put the squeeze on Harris County and HISD, you're trying to again exert more control, exert more, bringing in the 10 Commandments. And please, this is meant as no disrespect to the Christian faith, but again, these are public schools. No amount of faith belongs in those classrooms because people from all walks of life get an education in public schools.
It would be better if they actually practiced the 10 goals. Shut up, Trey. Oh,
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
see, I'm trying. I'm really trying, y'all, because this is the conversation I've always wanted to have with somebody outside my faith. 'Cause it just amazes me how stupid some Christians are. I'm like, you're stupid. If you're going to do that, then you have to have all faiths represented,
Oh yeah,
including the people with no faith. They pay
exactly.
taxes unless you're saying that they don't pay taxes. And I think if you're saying they don't pay taxes, then a lot of people are going to say, hey, I don't have faith. I don't have it. Hey, no
Hmm.
taxes. Hey,
Yeah,
but
man, no
I would,
taxes.
yeah, so okay, sure, whatever. But oh my goodness. Yeah, it'd be way better if they did those 10 commandments. Like, I don't know, don't lie, don't
And
steal. Hey,
again,
any of
absolutely
this, you
no
got to get the
disrespect to the Christian
pitfall.
faith,
No, you're
Tracy.
not being,
Absolutely
you're
none.
telling the truth.
What it is, it's not about the 10 Commandments. I wouldn't even would want if the any verses from the Quran was there, because again, this is not just for Muslim students. It's not. I wouldn't want any other faith represent, or any other. Uh, how would I put it? Like, it's very limited ideology to exist that way. are displayed in public schools, because again, not everybody belongs to a certain faith. Not everybody is are practicing or living the same way. What we do in public schools right now, and I absolutely adore it, is that, when Ramadan comes around, you have teachers, giving information about what Ramadan is. If it's Christmas, yes, please, there can be whatever celebration there is. If there is if there's Hanukkah, if there is, for any and every other thing that a particular segment of people are believing in, or are they practicing, yes, please. I think the learning from other people is absolutely critical.
Right. And
But
I'm so glad you said it that way, because I we're gonna keep moving, because I'm telling you, I could literally stay on this subject so long. We wouldn't. You're here to talk about your campaign, and I'm here to help you to do that. That's my job. But I went to your website and I already displayed this, so I won't go in there. So you have a pledge on your website that you have taken, and all of these to me make perfect sense. Um, I want to talk about, I'm going to do these in order. So you have a pledge that you will put Texas, or is it Texans first? So y'all will call
Texans first.
Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Texas first. The state of Texas has pledged to invest at least $280 million in Israeli or Israel bonds, more money that
Mm-hmm.
should have been invested here at home. Um, I'm probably gonna ask a stupid question. They don't
No
think
stupid
that you all
questions.
need that money. Like, couldn't you use that to, I don't know, address homelessness, address food deserts? Um,
Again, this is one of those roundabout ways that our money is going places that it really shouldn't be going. And here's the thing, here's the sticker in all of this. Okay. As someone who is Muslim, and we have seen what has happened ever since October 7th, 2023. Um, those There are people who will not see eye to eye with me about this. It is a genocide. It is a mass murder of people. But I'm gonna be fair about this. I can't go against a policy because of how I personally feel about what is going on. So I'm going to bring it straight back to Texas. I'll bring it straight back Texas to the fact that, again, why do our people struggle with finding affordable health care? Why are our infrastructures the way they are? Why is our higher education not free? When all of these things are exist in Israel like that, they have universal health care, higher education is free for them, and part of our taxpayer dollars are going towards that. So why don't our people deserve all of this? Why are we struggling? That $280 million could do so much good right here.
yeah,
Why is this happening this way? That is the question I want to raise.
stop making sense. That's what I say. When people just make sense, just like, stop. Don't make sense. Think of something completely stupid. Just think of the dumbest policy. Sending money not to the citizens that pay, because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
big MMTer. So we're not talking about, Paul, we're not talking about federal money. We're talking about state money. This
Mm-hmm.
state money should be staying within the state. That's why,
Yes.
hey, if you're going to send 280 million, send it to Tennessee or Kentucky I mean, if you're just going to waste it, and if you're just going to just do stupid stuff with it,
No,
I
no.
mean,
Here's
be
the thing,
stupid
Tracy.
about it.
If Indiana is going through flooding, okay, I would even be a proponent of the fact whatever emergency our neighboring states are going through, okay, that money should go towards that. If you want to send money outside, okay, it should be to help American people even in the state of Texas, Tracy, it was a
Absolutely.
huge disaster after Hurricane Harvey. There are people who are
Yeah, and
still
yeah,
reeling from that
you
after
all
those
have
so many
hurricanes
years.
like we have. We haven't had a tornado in years, and this flooding, it just kind of just popped out of nowhere. But that, I mean, I think the point I'm getting to, because I always babble, but what the point I'm getting to, $280 million. I know Texas probably has an unhoused problem where people
Oh
can't
yeah.
afford housing.
Oh yeah.
If you just wanted to use money for just that, well, okay, I can see paying more tax because it's going to help me. How? And I'm
We
going to
don't
move on
even
to
have
my
to pay more taxes. It'll be just taking the money we already give away to our own
right. But they'll say, "Oh no, we got to raise them." But yeah, I know that's what I'm getting to. I'm like, well, okay, if you're gonna tax me, at least have it benefit me. But you're right.
people.
You just reallocate it. You just say, "Hey, Israel, we're not buying bonds." Which what? That's a foreign country. I'm not. And anybody that says anti-Semitism, hit that unsubscribe button because I don't have time for you. I'm not sending it to Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Australia, Italy, France, England. None of those. That money should stay within that state that's raising that money. Otherwise, well, it's probably big money that's making them do that. What are you getting out of it? I haven't heard any type because our state spends like 133 million.
Mm.
But of course, you all have more people than we do, so you have a wider impact. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to breathe, y'all. I'm really trying to breathe. I did not mean to come off this angry, but I'm just so tired of
Tracy, the anger is justified. The deeper and
it's
deeper
just
I go into all the numbers, you just saw the 280 million on my website, right? That is literally like a bag of cash that we're throwing that way.
just
Do you
throwing it
know?
away for no.
No, no, here's the thing. Here's the bigger kicker. Do you know, like, if you combined all the tax breaks that Israeli investors get, that number goes even higher to about $1.4 billion of our taxpayer money that they're receiving.
But yet, if you want to start a business or a black person wants to start a business, they don't get the same tax break. Gee, I wonder why. Let me breathe. I gotta breathe, yeah, because okay. So the next pledge that you said that you were gonna do on your website, and this one, I don't know when this became an issue, but I'm so glad that people are paying attention to this. In the AI sector alone, data centers in Texas are given $1 billion in tax breaks every year, while a baseline requirement of employing only 40 employees, not to mention the devastating resource and environmental impact on its local communities. If I hear you say that you want a moratorium on data centers, this interview is over. I'm telling you that right now. They need to go away. Data centers need to go away. Away, go bye bye.
Oh, Tracy, like, again, um, not just about the money impact. A majority of Texas population are in rural communities. Like, if you drive past, all of these towns, these are not big places. These are places with majority farmers, agriculturists, and they have lived there for generations. Okay, they have limited finances to do what they're doing. I'm not even going to go into how our farmers are trapped by big corporations, but let's just say they have limited resources. Okay, especially it's Texas. Texas is majority desert. We don't have a whole bunch of water to be throwing around. Corpus Christi is already in a water crisis. So when you have us giving $1 billion in tax breaks, and that's set to go up to 2 billion in the coming years, even more depending on how it is. All of these data centers are bringing in is more noise pollution, more surveillance to the average Texan. And again, it's our tax money who which are being used for all of this, and we don't even know about it half the time. That's the problem with all of this. I wish I could change the laws about this, but I that's why I tell people, go out, go vote. Greg Abbott is on the ballot. His opponent is Gina Hinojosa. Please vote her in. He's got to go. He has got to go.
Well,
And what I can
he's running for re-election.
He's been here for 11 years, so he's going for
Oh, that's
one
right.
last.
You all don't have term limit. That's right. We
Nope.
have term limits for our governor. You all don't.
No,
That's right.
they could. It's sort of like a Mitch McConnell situation. Even if he's not visible, somebody will be propping it up. So, but anyway, but that's the thing. He's running for re-election, but he's got to go. That's the first way that if you want to do it under like legal jurisdiction, that you elect somebody who you can put pressure on and be like, we don't want any more of this. None of it. There's already way too many. And then my job is to bring to light, okay, $1 billion of your tax dollars went into this tax break. How many jobs did it really create? Okay. There's a lot of people who would be like, oh yeah, so the data centers only create this many jobs, but the internet sector, the IT sector requires then it creates this many jobs. But I want to really bring the numbers out there. How beneficial is this really? What is the actual advantage as opposed to all the land that is being taken away from these rural communities, the waters, the resources, the amount of pollution, noise, air, all the light pollution that they create. Like, again, I'm biased because I've always been an environmentalist at heart. But nothing should ever be above the sanctity of human life and the life on this land that sustains us. So, no data center should ever be above that.
The next pledge you have taken a free speech pledge. You want to boycott, divest, or sanction BDS. It's a peaceful effort to pressure Israel to stop violating human rights in occupied territories. Texas has an unconstitutional anti-BDS law which limits political free speech for anyone doing business with the state. That's got to, I would say that's got to be a joke.
No,
but it's not.
It's not. There have been so many instances where, and this is again a very recent, a Fort Worth principal, one of our neighboring cities in Dallas. She put on a post on social media which was pro-Palestine. And because she's a public school worker, there was pressure then to fire her because of that. And it's specifically because of this anti-BDS law that when you sign a contract with a government entity, and most public schools come under that, it is that you will not have like express anti-Israel sentiments or anti-Israel anything publicly. You are not allowed to do that. It is within Texas law. So ultimately, she won that case. But again, this is again a muffling of our free speech. That's basically what it is.
So I want to make sure the audience understands what you're saying. According to Texas logic, you can say anything bad about the United States of America and still get a contract. You can say we're terrible. You can say we're communists. You can say social. You can say the worst things, but you better not criticize Israel, a country that's what, 3,000 miles away from Texas? Again, make it make sense. I, I'm just like,
There's
it
so many
makes
things that are
no
going
sense.
wrong here. It
That's
makes
not
no
even putting
sense.
Texas first. I'm like, okay, I could, and again, I don't believe, even if I disagree with this speech, I'll advocate for the KKK. Like, let them speak. I don't have to listen to them. So somebody says something about Palestine or free Palestine or stop the genocide, and you're going to say that person should lose their job because they're
Mhm.
speaking against Israel, who's clearly.
And
I'm
here's
not
the
going on the
kicker.
ring.
Here's the kicker, Tracy. It's not even it is the implication that it's against Israel if you say free Palestine. Do you see
Yes,
the
right. Like it's an indication. You don't even have to say. You just
you
say,
don't
"Well, genocide shouldn't even be tolerated." You may not even be talking about Israel, but because you use the word genocide, now you can't get a
mhm.
contract,
Yep,
which
you can't.
defeats the purpose of putting Texans first. Because if those contractors are Texans, then they have, I don't know, lawn service to mow the governor's mansion. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff now. And that person putting in that contract says, well, genocide, that's unexcusable. We shouldn't have it. They could lose their contract.
Yep.
Mhm. See, this is why I don't like the two-party system because I guarantee I don't live in Texas, but I know this is happening. Bet the Democrats are just sitting there watching and twiddling their thumbs. I can almost guarantee it.
You know the worst part is, and I was, I didn't even think that I would have to get into this, but I'm running through the Green Party, and we have three, actually, a total of 10 candidates, Green Party candidates, and three of them are going against uh, APAC funded Democrats. That's the other problem. It's not even about like, okay, if you don't like Republican policy, you can vote Democrat. You can't even trust Democrats to not be funded by APAC. So us down here in Texas, it has become really complicated because all of this has become so intertwined. I tell everybody, listen, I cannot tell you who to vote for, but what I can tell you is that you have to know who's on your ballot. And please do your research. It's not as simple as, oh, I have voted Democrat all throughout and I should vote Democrat now. Because if you have a pro APAC Democrat, you know that they will be siding with policy that is not always Texas first.
And it doesn't make sense. The taxpayers, we all deserve better. We
Mm-hmm.
deserve better. And we're
Mm-hmm.
not going to get better until we just put them both out. Put them both, just get rid of them. I don't care where you go, form your own little island and go there and leave the rest of us alone. But I want to get to the rest of the points because I
Right.
want to add something here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I just lost the website. Um, fairness. You talked about this at length, but if you want to continue to talk about it, um, unbiased school vouchers and state contracts. Now, I
Yes.
would never guess that there was unbiased contracts. That doesn't sound like the government would do something like that. I mean,
Especially in
come on.
Texas.
You can just trust the government, can't you? Sarcasm, people. Sarcasm.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, again, the voucher system is, and even if you look at it from the student side, for what we have known so far, the voucher system is only benefiting, or for majority part, benefiting students who are already in the private school system. So like it's not like there's a huge shift of public school students going into private schools through that voucher system. So it is biased. It is ultimately favoring those who could already afford at some level. I'm not saying like completely afford to send send their kids to private school. The other part is, again, deep in the heart of Texas, they ain't no private schools teaching our kids. We barely have public schools, and a number of counties are coming into one central schools to have their kids receive an education. There are no private schools over there because, again, people would not be able to afford to send their kids to private school. So if you are using public tax dollars that should have been invested into the public school system and keep taking away that money, we are losing funding for public schools, which a majority of our kids have access to. Private schools are not a majority. It is public schools. It is unfair to our kids that this money should be siphoned away like this, especially to enrich billionaire, again, private school oligarchs.
Yes, it's like it's saying, hey, they're rich, give them more money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just give them more. They need it. No, don't give it to the poor family over there that could use it. Let's just give it to these billionaires. Okay, sure. I want to talk about your election is, I'm going to assume it's November the 3rd. Is that
November
correct?
the 3rd, yes.
So I want you to talk about, because I looked this up to see who you're running against. You're running against, and I know I'm going to get these names wrong, so please correct me. Sarah Eckhart,
Sarah Eckert, yes.
Donald Huffins,
Huffines, yes.
Huffines.
Interesting story about Huffines. Okay, I love telling this because it shows you how morally corrupt all of this is.
Oh, you'll have to tell that. Go ahead. Go ahead, tell, and I'll get
we're,
to the other.
we're gonna have to go into that. So Don Huffines is a billionaire businessman, and he is very well known in Texas. He is also has been currently appointed as acting comptroller because our previous acting comptroller suddenly resigned, and so on and so forth. So he is in the comptroller office right now, even before elections. The other interesting thing about Mr. Huffines is he's owner of the Epstein Ranch in New Mexico. This man bought the Epstein Ranch in New Mexico, not directly, because again, he wouldn't be able to get away with that, but it was a whole shenanigan he pulled where he formed an LLC to buy the ranch. But when you go back into all the paperwork, it was bought under his wife's name. And his claim is that he's going to turn it into a Christian camp. And that's the thing. I can't even begin to fathom how this man is allowed to run for office when he has that kind of stain on him. But here we are. And not just that, Greg Abbott has currently appointed him as acting comptroller as well.
See, my conspiracy mind says, oh, she didn't resign. She was told to quit.
Oh, he was. Oh, for sure. For sure.
See, I just assume things. I'm like, oh, but I'm like, it sounds like somebody told her, hey, it's time for you to go. But here's what I'm getting at in terms of, number one, are you on the ballot?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
So, did you have to collect signatures, or did you just get to say, hey, I'm running for this, and they just put you on the ballot?
Oh no, I wish it was that simple anywhere. But for in Texas, you can collect a certain amount to, then apply to run for office. So the signatures are a lot harder. From what the count is, let's suppose I needed 5,000 signatures. So let's assume I needed 5,000 signatures. I would actually have to collect 10,000 signatures
Right. Because they're going to
because
throw
half
out.
of them are thrown out. So you can also pay a sizable fee to apply to run for office.
And you did which option?
I paid the fees. I'll be transparent. I did pay the fees to run for office. Only because I think this would probably be taking me back into a little bit of how I started to run for office. I had not originally intended to, but I had been volunteering for the Green Party for a couple of years now, and with this opportunity presenting itself, a lot of people who had already known me were like, I think you would be a good candidate with, you know, I had been in the justice circle for a really long time, especially since I had been doing my podcast for the past 5 years as well. A lot of topics come up in that when you get a deeper sense of how the injustice sort of creeps into society. And I was always very vocal about that. And they knew that. And they were like, I think you should be running for office.
Right, because
And
yeah, that signature. I not mean to rush, but signature gathering. I did it. Of course, you probably did it for the Jill Stein campaign. I did mine for the Cornel West campaign.
right.
They petty. They will throw signatures off for the most
Mm-hmm.
insane reasons you've
Yep.
ever. The T isn't crossed, and you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
dot that I. So yes, I'm not knocking you for paying it. Although personally, I believe that you should just say, "Hey, I'm running." You file your
Right.
little paperwork, and then that's it, and let everybody else
One
who wants
thousand,
one.
1,000%, Tracy.
But
One
hey, that's
thousand
just me.
percent.
But it's just so I'm like, why make it that hard? But I know. You also talk about in your last pledge to provide a greater sense of freedom. A new state law, SB 8, offers the Texas office state grant money as an incentive to cooperate with federal ICE operations.
Oh
This
yeah.
program will be administered by the Federal Controller's Office. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to have you talk about that because I got opinions about ICE, and um
We have the same opinion, Tracy. Okay.
um I
I
don't know. I mean, how does anybody support? How are you okay with them? They should just be they should just be well. Basically, let me step back. The Office of Homeland Security should be eliminated. Just period. We
Mhm.
have this thing. It's called the CIA and FBI. I'm almost teeter to say they should go, but okay, you have to have some sense of national security. But that's a different argument. ICE,
Mm-mm.
I can't even imagine what it's like in Texas. I can't even imagine.
Can you imagine the how preposterous it is, Tracy, that our economy is basically being held afloat by, and I'm not even calling anybody immigrant at this point, okay? But there it is being held afloat by people of color, literally. And the majority of those people of color are of Hispanic Latino background. A majority of what is the jobs that are done by the Hispanic Latino segment of the population. And you have the audacity to bring in an agency that is clearly racist, clearly, that they are not even asking for ID. I mean, you hear so many of accounts of indigenous Americans being arrested and being, oh, you're an immigrant, sir. This and they're only doing that basically just looking at your face and being like, yeah, we're assuming you don't belong here.
But
And yes, go ahead.
newsflash, American ICE. You know, you could be of Hispanic descent and look just like me. Did you know
Oh
there's
yeah.
these things called Afro Latin?
Oh
Did you
yeah.
not know this? Did you not know that? Oh, and one more thing before I let you finish. If I hear one more person that looks like me talking about immigrants are taking our jobs, promise, I promise I'm going to go off on you. I'm so tired of hearing that. I'm so tired of you buying into this. Hey, let's divide them. We should be coming together to fight them. We need to come together. We need each other. I don't know why we don't realize that, but we need each other.
Ain't nobody taking nobody's job. Okay. The sooner we realize this, the better it is. There were so many raids earlier this year on farm workers. There were reports of, there was one incident in particular in which a woman called ICE on the workers that were repairing her roof because she didn't want to pay for it. And at that point, they arrested her. Thankfully, they got released and so on and so forth. But these are the kind of things that we're doing. There's raids. There were raids on farm workers, and yeah, then farmers didn't have any people working the fields.
Oh,
If
look at
you're
me
saying,
cry.
yeah, I
Oh,
know.
look at me cry.
If you're
Like,
if you're saying
oh,
the jobs are being taken, I didn't see anybody replacing them. Why didn't you rush in to be work in the fields then? It's money, it's a job. Why are you not going in? They had such a difficult time, and they still do, trying to find people to work the fields because yeah, these are hardworking members of our community who are being unfairly targeted. And again, it's the boogeyman. Oh, they're taking our jobs and so on. There's increase in crime because of, there's no increase in crime because of any one person. You want to know what the reason for increase in crime is because there's such a huge disparity between rich people and poor people. Why on earth is our federal income minimum wage $7.25? I can't even get a coffee for $7.25 anymore in Texas.
stop making sense. I'm going to say this one more time. Stop making sense. The fact that one, ICE is a federal agency and your your office is going to be controlling them when
What's going to happen is, and this is what's the most problematic part about this, it's not controlling them, but what it's doing is that, let's say there's a sheriff's office in a small town in Texas. If they say we're going to agree to cooperate with ICE, help them find XYZ number of people, then the comptroller's office is like, we're going to give you $300,000 of taxpayer money to help ICE. And again, as is, we have a problem with over policing. This just makes it a whole lot worse. So, this is not something that we need in Texas. Okay?
mm-mm,
We need a whole bunch of other things. This is not one of them.
it just makes no sense.
Mm-mm.
So I can't believe an hour flew by that fast. Um, so I am making and I said I was going to do this every time I went to a website and I saw the candidate had a donate button. So I'm going to put the link up to donate to your website here in just a second. So, oh yeah, it's donor box. Okay. I'm like, don't be using Act Blue, but that's for Democrats. Okay. So I have been issuing the $5 challenge to
Yay.
everybody that's watching this to donate at least $5. Because if I hear one more person talk about you put profit over people, I'm going to tell you to shut up because it takes money to run for office. It takes money for a website. It takes money for volunteers. She's asking people to go out and make the work. They can't do. She has to feed them. She has to put gas in their car. They're not doing it because, well, they're doing it because they believe in her campaign. So I'm issuing a challenge to everybody watching this podcast today to donate at least $5.
Thank you. And again, uh, that's the thing. This is my promise to everybody who's listening in. And if you're listening in from Texas, okay, I am literally running a grassroots campaign. You send me $5, that $5 literally goes back into things like printing flyers. None of this, I don't have any billionaire backers. I don't have any rich people throwing money at me. And that's a good thing because I'm not beholden to anybody who would be like, oh, I gave you $10,000. Now you have to do XYZ to me. No. The only
Yep.
people I am beholden to are all of you. Your $5 means everything to me. And that's what I'm going for, that I work for the people because it's their money that's helping me do what I am trying to do.
Yep. And so that's as I stated, everybody that has a donate website, I've been doing that. And I'm
Thank you
going to
so much.
continue to do that because we need to step our entire game up. I know that's
Mhm.
probably not phonetical English and it doesn't sound pretty well. I'm that girl. I'm the girl from the street. I'm your next door neighbor. I'm your cousin. I'm your niece. I'm not your technically I'm old enough to be somebody's mother, but we not there yet. But we've got to stop the two-party system.
Mhm.
We have no choice. It's an all hands on deck situation. So consider, and you said, well, I don't have $5. Save up for it. You can save 50 cents over the next couple of weeks. You can scrape together those quarters.
Oh,
You have a couch, dig under those couches. I guarantee you'll find $5. I guarantee you have a subscription out there that you forgot about, like I did, and I had to cancel. I'm like, oh, I got this. Let me cancel it. So thank you all for watching. I have an interview tomorrow with Pat Dixon. Um, and I have to reschedule it because I have a doctor's appointment coming up at that time. But um, I want to thank everybody. I'm so glad you came in here and let me go off on my rants. Um, tell us how we can follow you on social media.
thank you so much, Tracy. Again, it was an absolute pleasure to be here. You can follow me on all the social medias except for Facebook, but that's a rant for another day. I'm not even going to get into that. Um, at, at Faizi for Texas. It's the at sign Faizi, Faizi, as in zebra, I for Texas, Fortexas. So on all the social medias, that's the same handle. On Instagram, on X, on Upscrolled, and even on Threads. So it's all the same everywhere. You'd be surprised. Donations are absolutely more than what we need. But even if you just spread the word about what me and my team are trying to do, it helps a lot. It really, really does.
Thank you so much for coming. And remember, everybody, to like, share, comment, subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe. And finally, like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on another episode of The Tracy Show, probably at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We've got a busy couple weeks of interviews. They're just back to back to back to back. But hey, it was a point where nobody would come on this show. So I'm fortunate. So I thank you all so very much. Have a great evening. Goodbye. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.